Hello students, in this video we are going to learn about the theoretical aspect and the practical aspect of histology of cartilage. We know there are three types of cartilages present: hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage and the fibrocartilage. So there are three types of cartilages. In this video, I am not going to go in the details of the cartilage. We are going to learn about the basics of these cartilages and how to present the question. If there is a question is asked about hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage or fibrocartilage, how to present it in theory and how to identify the slides of these cartilages in the practical classes. So in theory, any of the cartilage can be described under these headings: the introduction, the location, the description, perichondrium. In the description we can have the headings of subheadings of perichondrium, the fibers which are present, the cells which are present, the ground substance, and lastly the function and the applied anatomy. These are the points which are to be mentioned in the short note of any cartilage asked in the exam. In the introduction, we can write it common for all the cartilages that it is a specialized connective tissue. We know that it is a specialized connective tissue. Why it is a specialized connective tissue? Because it consists of homogeneous and amorphous intercellular matrix which is consisting of fibers, cells and the ground substance. Generally, connective tissue will not be consisting of the intercellular matrix. Here there is presence of homogeneous amorphous intercellular matrix, and that's why the cartilage is a specialized connective tissue. And moreover, it is very important to remember that it is avascular. So these are the 3 points which should be mentioned under the heading of introduction. And for the individual cartilages, in the hyaline cartilage, it is as we know, it is the most abundant type of cartilage in the human body. So hyaline cartilage, if it is asked, apart from the 3 headings, we have to write about that it is the most abundant type of cartilage in the human body. And fibrocartilage is also known as the white fibrocartilage. So that is how we can present the introduction. Now from the next point onwards, I am going to mention all the 3 cartilages together, so we can easily know the features of the cartilage and also differentiate between the features of the particular feature in the 3 cartilages. So that's why you can easily remember and differentiate the 3 cartilages. Location. So hyaline cartilage, as we know, it is present in the fetal skeleton. Articular cartilage, which is present at the ends of the bones, the nose, costal cartilage, trachea, bronchi and the larynx. These are the sites where the hyaline cartilage is present. Elastic cartilage is present in the pinna of the ear, epiglottis, arytenoid and the cuneiforms, then the external auditory meatus and the auditory tube. And fibrocartilage is present in the intervertebral disc, like in the pubic symphysis, manubriosternal joint, menisci of the knee joint, the labrums, the glenoid labrum and the acetabular labrums of the hip and the shoulder joint. So these are the sites where the particular cartilage are present. Then while starting the description, this can be written as a common, as we know that the cartilage is covered on the outer side by a layer which is a double layered structure called as the perichondrium. So it consists of 2 layers: outer fibrous layer, which is made up of dense regular connective tissue, and inner cellular layer, which is consisting of the cells which can get converted into chondrocytes. So these chondrocytes will then go more inside towards the matrix, and then they will settle down there, divide there and form the cellular part of the cartilage. In adult cartilage, only fibrous layer. So if you see the perichondrium of the hyaline cartilage, it is the presence of the fibrovascular membrane on the free surface of the cartilage, and it is absent over the articular cartilage. That means the surface of the articular cartilage which are articulating with each other, over those surfaces there will be absence of the perichondrium. Also it will be absent where the ribs are joining with the costal cartilage, and also at the epiphyseal surfaces of the long bones. So these are the places where the hyaline cartilage will be absent the perichondrium will be absent over the hyaline cartilage. The cartilage will be present, but the perichondrium will be absent. In elastic cartilage, again the same things remains. It is the presence of fibrovascular membrane on the free surface of the cartilage, and in the fibrocartilage there is perichondrium is absent. So this is the most important differentiating point between the fibrocartilage and the other two cartilages. If we come to the fibers, the hyaline cartilage consists of mainly type 2 collagen, although there are other types of collagen present in there, but the major part, 40% of the dry weight of the cartilage is formed by the type 2 collagen, which forms a three-dimensional network in the ground substance. Now these fibers have got the same refractive index as the ground substance. That's why in the ground substance we are not able to see the fibers individually, which can be seen very clearly in case of fibrocartilage or say even in elastic cartilage. But in case of hyaline cartilage, the collagen fiber has got same refractive index like that of the ground substance, and hence while we stain them with the H&E staining, they doesn't appear in the ground substance, and that's why the ground substance gives a very smooth appearance, which we call it as ground glass appearance. So that is about the fibers of the hyaline cartilage. Now elastic cartilage, so the name itself says that elastic, so the fibers which are present here are the branching and the anastomosing fibers of elastin, that is the elastic fibers. Although yes, there will be some few collagen fibers present, but the main constituent of the fibers in the elastic cartilage is of elastic fibers. And in fibrocartilage there is presence of type 1 and type 2 collagen fibers, but mainly it consists of type 1 collagen fibers. So that is about the fibers of hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage and fibrocartilage. So the differentiatingly we can say that in the hyaline cartilage there is type 2 collagen, in the fibrocartilage there is mainly type 1 collagen, and in the elastic cartilage there are elastic fibers present. So coming to the ground substance, the hyaline cartilage consists of a featureless, homogeneous, gel-like ground substance which gives ground glass like appearance, and it consists of sulfated proteoglycans which are secreted by the chondrocytes, and the fiber they are called as aggregans. Apart from the sulfated proteoglycans, it also consists of higher concentration of chondroitin and the keratin sulfate, which is mainly present in high concentration around the lacuna. Now lacuna is a space around the chondrocytes which are present within the ground substance, or you can say the intercellular matrix. So that is called as the lacuna, and surrounding the lacuna this high concentration of chondroitin and the keratin sulfate forms the capsule or the territorial matrix. It forms the capsule or the territorial matrix. The same way in the elastic cartilage also there is presence of this ground substance which consists of sulfated proteoglycans, but the proteoglycans here are also secreted by chondrocytes and they are also called as the aggregans. When we see about the fibrocartilage, here the proteoglycans are secreted by the fibroblasts and they are called as the versicans. So again the differentiating point between the fibrocartilage and the other two cartilage is the presence of the proteoglycans secreted by the fibroblast, that is called as the versican. Whereas in case of hyaline cartilage and the elastic cartilage, it is the presence of the sulfated proteoglycans secreted by the chondrocytes known as aggregans. The cells in all the three cartilages, the major cells which are present, or you can say only type of cells which are present, are the chondrocytes. In the hyaline cartilage, the chondrocytes are surrounded by a space. That space is called as the lacunae. Now each chondrocyte divide, and the cells which are the daughter cells which are arising from those division, they remain confined to that lacuna or a space, and that's why they form a group of cells which is called as the cell nest. So cell nest is the typical feature of hyaline cartilage. If you see a slide of the histology of a cartilage and you find the presence of the cell nest, group of cells present together, that means it is a slide of hyaline cartilage. When you are answering a question of hyaline cartilage, you should mention the point cell nest in your answer. So that is the only type of cells which are present is the chondrocytes. They are occupying the lacunae. They synthesize collagen and the ground substance of the hyaline cartilage, and when they divide, the daughter cells remain together within the lacunae. That grouping of the daughter cells, it is called as the cell nest. Elastic cartilage, again the chondrocytes are present, but they are larger as compared to that of the hyaline cartilage. There will be no cell nest present, and the cells are packed very closely and tightly. So very less intercellular matrix is also seen. In case of fibrocartilage, there are only few chondrocytes present, which are either present in row or scattered between the bundles of the collagenous fibers. So this is how the arrangement of cells are there. In the hyaline cartilage, the cells are scattered, but they are more as compared to that of fibrocartilage, and the cells are surrounded by a space that is called as the lacunae, and after division the daughter cells remain confined to that space. It is called as, they are called as cell nest. In the elastic cartilage, the chondrocytes are larger, lacuna is present, but no cell nest is there, whereas in fibrocartilage, cells are scattered. Coming to the functions, the hyaline cartilage provides a cushioning and the smooth surface over the ends of the long bones, so that when they articulate and form a joint, they doesn't produce much frictions. It provides a smooth and the cushioning surface over the ends of the bones. It also provides the support to the structure, and because of its firmness, like present in the trachea and the bronchus, it helps in keeping the lumen patent and does not allow it to collapse. The elastic cartilage provides the shape and the support to that organ along with the help of the elasticity. That means allowing the organ to get stretched, so allowing the stretchability of that organ. So it provides elasticity around the organ. The fibrocartilage is mainly known for its strength to resist compressive and the shearing forces. So they are present in the sternoclavicular joint. They are present in the pubic symphysis. They are present in the glenoid labrum and the acetabular labrum. So all these places, there is a need to provide a strength against the resist the compressive and the shearing forces during the movement of the joint. So that is the important function of the fibrocartilage. Now this is the schematic diagram of the hyaline cartilage, which you need to draw in your exam. So this number 4, which is on the outer side, this is the perichondrium. It has got an outer fibrous layer and the inner cellular layer. These cells get converted into chondrocytes. As you can see, the chondrocytes are covered by a space around them. So that space is called as the lacunae, as marked by 3 here in this diagram. And when these cells divide, the daughter cells remain confined to that lacunae, and this group of cells which is found within the lacunae, they are called as the cell nest, that is labeled as 2 here. And the remaining part, that is the homogeneous ground substance, or you can say forming the matrix of the hyaline cartilage. So here you can see it is the collagen fibers which is present in the ground substance is not seen, because the refractive index of both ground substance and the collagen fibers are same. If we see the slide, as you can see, this is, if you come across a slide where you are seeing such a large structure which is having some homogeneity, where there is a large number of cells present on one end, and in the middle part there are very scattered cells. Here you can see there are cell nests. The dividing cells are present within the lacunae. These are the cell nests, as you can see here. So this suggests that this is a slide of hyaline cartilage. Moreover, generally the hyaline cartilage slide is made from either the trachea or the bronchus, and we know that the epithelium of trachea and bronchus is pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. So you can see the presence of the epithelium in the slide also. So this way you can have, if you remember it, that which organ it is present, then you can try to identify the organ and the cartilage together. So here it is this pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, and the hyaline cartilage. You can see the cells, large number of cells, but they are not bundled up together. They are present scatteredly, they are dividing independently and forming the cell nests. And this is the lacunas which you can see in the slide. In elastic cartilage, again the perichondrium is present, but the chondrocytes are very large. They are not present in form of cell nests, and they are so tightly packed that the black elastic fibers are seen very scarcely, and there will be very less intercellular substance seen. As you can see here, again the slide of the elastic cartilage is generally made from epiglottis or pin of ear. So we can see find some epithelium of skin, or that is the keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, or if it is from epiglottis of human, then it is the presence of the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium on one side and pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium on the other side. So here you can see a particular epithelium here. This is the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, and here is that individual structure, large structure consisting of large number of cells. You can easily differentiate it from the hyaline cartilage. In the hyaline cartilage, the cells were not tightly bundled, they were slightly away from each other. Here it is tightly bundled with each other, and if we slightly zoom and see it, it is how these cells, these are the large chondrocytes, and in between these are the elastic fibers and very little amount of intercellular substance seen. So this is how you can differentiate the elastic cartilage from the hyaline cartilage. And in the fibrocartilage, the major difference is there is absence of perichondrium. There is no perichondrium present, and the cells are either arranged in rows or scattered within the collagen fibers. So we can see the collagen fibers very clearly. In hyaline cartilage, we cannot see the collagen fibers. In elastic cartilage, we can see the elastic fibers, and in the fibrocartilage, we can see the collagen fibers. As you can see, these all are the collagen fibers around it, and these are the individual chondrocytes which are present scattered. These are all collagen fibers, these all, and between them these are the presence of the chondrocytes, either scattered or arranged in the rows. So this is how you can identify and differentiate the three cartilages: the hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and the white fibrocartilage. To sum up the differences, so that by which we can easily identify the slide, that perichondrium, first we can look for the perichondrium. If it is absent, then it is fibrocartilage. If it is present, then either it is hyaline cartilage or elastic cartilage. Look for the cell nest and the intercellular matrix. If the cell nests are present and the matrix is abundant, then that means it is a hyaline cartilage. Otherwise it is a slide of elastic cartilage. So this way you can differentiate the slides of the three cartilages in a very simple manner. Then the main question comes, at least we should know first, okay, this is a slide of cartilage, then we can decide whether it is hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, or it is a slide of fibrocartilage. So most commonly the slides which are asked in the exam are generally hyaline cartilage and elastic cartilage. It doesn't mean that there will be no fibrocartilage asked, but the common ones which are generally present everywhere are the hyaline cartilage and the elastic cartilage. So hyaline cartilage slide is mostly made, as I said, from trachea or bronchus. So the slide will consist of pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, and there will be a long sheet of cartilage like structure which will be present beneath the epithelium. So if you are seeing a slide in the 4x or 10x power, and if you are at least able to get that there is a presence of an epithelium in the slide, which is say pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, and within that tissue, within that structure, there is presence of some sheet like structure, or you can say separately identifiable structure, a long piece of separately identifiable structure, that means then that there are chances that that will be a slide of a cartilage. And if you go for the details, then you will be able to identify whether it is hyaline cartilage or the elastic cartilage. Similarly, elastic cartilage slide is mostly of epiglottis or pinna. So the slide will consist of epithelium of skin if it is of pinna, or if it will be having the dual epithelium, one on each side, that is the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium and pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium if it is a slide of epiglottis. And then we can look for the other features of the elastic cartilage which is present within the epiglottis or the pinna. So this is how we can, at least we can identify that this is a slide of a cartilage, or there is a presence of cartilage in the slide. Coming to applied anatomy, the one of the two important applied anatomies are the pseudo achondroplasia, which is because of the defect in the cartilage oligomeric matrix protein, which is defective in the joints, and which leads to shortening of the limb due to reduced proliferation of the chondrocytes. So there will be persons will be dwarfs. In osteoarthritis, very common, we are seeing it nowadays, the presence of the joint pain, especially in the knee joint, which is seen in the older ages due to the decrease in the thickness of the articular cartilage of joints, specifically more commonly in knee joint, because of the reduced proteoglycans, reduced water, and reduced production of type 2 collagen. So this is the two important applieds related to the cartilage, the pseudoachondroplasia and and osteoarthritis. Lastly, to summarize, as we have covered, there are three types of cartilages: hyaline, elastic, and fibrocartilage. In the exam, in theory, if any of these cartilage is asked, you can describe under the heading of introduction, location, then sub description, and then in the sub headings of description, you can write about the perichondrium, fibers, cells, ground substance, then the functions of the cells, and lastly the applied anatomy. In the practical aspect, you can identify the slides by first looking for the perichondrium. If the perichondrium is present, then there is hyaline cartilage or elastic cartilage. If perichondrium is absent, then that means it is a slide of the fibrocartilage. If the perichondrium is present, then we should look for the size of the cells and the presence of cell nest. If the cells are very large and there is no cell nest present, that means it is a slide of elastic cartilage, and the cells will be tightly and compactly arranged in the elastic cartilage, whereas in the hyaline cartilage they are arranged loosely, not scatteredly, but it is arranged loosely in a lacuna, surrounded by a lacuna which can be very clearly seen, and the cells divide to form a group of cells that is called within the lacuna, which are called as the cell nest. So the typical feature for hyaline cartilage is the presence of perichondrium and the presence of cell nest. Typical feature for elastic cartilage is presence of perichondrium, presence of large sized, tightly compactly placed chondrocytes, and the characteristic feature or the typical feature for the identifying feature for the fibrocartilage is absence of perichondrium and presence of scattered chondrocytes within the collagenous fibers or collagen fibers. So this is how you can answer the question in theory and identify the slides in practical. That's all about the histology of cartilage. Thank you.